Hey guys, welcome back to Crime, Cocktails, and BS. We are your hosts, Alex and Kaisa, coming back at you with some fresh, new crime and bullshit in the reality TV world. Recap for you if you've never listened to us before, which could be possible since we've only had one episode. Kaisa and I are best friends from 2 years. Thanks to our wonderful job. And we found a bond over true crime and reality television and decided why not start a podcast? And here we are. We did it. Finally,
it's a
after
miracle.
6 months of planning. I know, seriously, it really is a miracle. But we figured it out, even with some delays in recording on my part in Hurricane Hillary. Turned into a tropical storm.
Yeah, our lives got a little busy, so
got a
we're
little nutty.
a week behind, but that's cool.
That's okay. We're gonna make it up to you guys. We promise. We have so much going on. And Kaisa is, giving us all we need with a new cocktail for this week. What is it? What are you drinking?
Yes, in honor of us covering the Lucy Letby case, this is called the Paging Prosecco. And it is Prosecco, lemon juice, simple syrup, and you can add a little lemon twist if you'd like. But
a twist,
I did not spend the time doing that.
Y'all wanted a twist.
There we go. Yes.
I love it. And honestly, fits the bill for this story too, because what a nut. And how this all came to be is so insane.
Nuts.
Yeah, so nuts. For you guys who have not heard about this yet, she is Lucy Letby, who is 33-year-old nurse, was found guilty for murdering 7 babies in a neonatal unit and attempting to kill 6 others at the Countess of Chester Hospital between 2015 and 2016. She is now the UK's most prolific child serial killer, which is mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. It's such a sick case. Like, unbelievable. So actually, I think she was charged with 10 attempted murders.
Has it gone up?
Yeah, I think so. Probably more, to be honest.
Jeez.
But yeah, she was arrested back in 2018, and the jury's been sitting for 9 months while the trial went on. So she was just found guilty of 14 of 22 charges. So that's nuts. There's so much to this because she seems like a normal person.
Yeah.
But then after hearing from her coworkers a little bit, she seems a little bit cuckoo, a little odd.
Yeah. I mean, she was deliberately injecting these babies with all different stuff. So like air, force feeding others with milk, and she poisoned 2 of the infants with insulin.
Insulin, yeah.
Which is crazy. Ugh. And what kind of freaked me out too was that the hospital is only 30 minutes away from Wrexham, which if you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds and what's his face, Rob, I'm going to pronounce his last name wrong. And there was a whole video for his birthday about how to pronounce his last name correctly.
What?
Yeah. Did you not see it? Oh, I have to send it to you. It's so funny. No. Rob McGinley from It's Always Sunny. What
is his last name?
I'm just going to text it to you. I have to watch the video again. I should have done that earlier. But they, Wrexham, they have their TV show on FX all about the team. And it's also like the 3rd oldest football club in the world. So when I saw, I was like, were all the people at the games and they had no idea what was going on at this hospital? Like, just so crazy. And so then close. Did you read any of the interviews with the families?
No. Oh, I think I did. I read one, or I actually watched one of the fathers speaking about losing their baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really upsetting to hear.
Yeah.
Because they're trusting these people. I don't know. Can you imagine having a new baby and then that stress, and then you put them in the hands of these nurses and you trust them to take care of them. And
and it's like, one of our friends just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like hearing what she had gone through with all of the hospital staff, her midwife, doula. Sorry, Alex, if you're listening and I'm giving incorrect information. um, but just hearing her stories and thinking about all the stress she was under, and then to think of these families. So there was the one family that had twins, and Letby killed one of them and then tried to kill the other the next day.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that
Yeah.
part.
And now that poor child is 7, survived, but has, you know, learning difficulties, a lot of complex needs, all because of being extremely harmed by Letby and what she was doing.
Oh my God, like brain trauma or something?
Yeah, it's just so sad. And I mean, and then the police found all of these handwritten notes that she was writing in her house.
Oh yeah, to the families.
Yeah, being like, I'm evil, I did this. She was texting her fellow nurses and doctors when all this stuff was
finding
going
them on Facebook and messaging them, the family is like acting like she really cared for them and how she was so hurt from the baby's death because she bonded with the baby. It's like so sick, so twisted.
And it was like she knew she was going to get caught or be a suspect at some point, was trying to throw it off by, you know, trying to tell her colleagues that it was like natural causes, when in reality, she was doing all these things. And I mean, to think she was arrested 3 times consecutively in 2018, 19, and 20. And they finally were able to get her. It's like, what was missing?
She was also being paid, like, I think through this case, like through the trial, she was getting paid. I might be wrong on that, but I know she was getting paid after she got arrested and like salaried from the hospital, which is so fucked up.
so fucked up. And I mean, like, so the last time, or the last recorded death, was in June 2016. And then in September 2016, she filed a grievance report against her employers after she was relocated from the hospital's neonatal ward, and she was put back on clerical duties. And it was all because 2 male triplets died and a baby boy collapsed on, and this was in like 3 days in a row of her being on duty in the hospital. So it was like her employers were like, something's going on here. They must have had some inkling. There's no way they couldn't have. Well,
the staff like actually tried to turn her in, and the hospital was like, no, that's ridiculous. You guys are going to get in trouble for bullying her, because they started saying, when the alarms went off, they were like, I wonder if Lucy's working, because it was like so often that happened, that they were like, there's some connection, and they were bringing it up to like the board, and no one took it seriously, like several times.
Until finally, like when she tried coming back to the neonatal department in 2017, the hospital finally like took it seriously, and they went to the police, who finally opened an investigation on her. So to think she had an entire year of being able to cause all this harm and devastation, to then it taking another year to even have an investigation open. And then a year on top of that for her to finally be considered a actual suspect and be arrested the first time.
That's nutso. Like, did you watch those interviews with the other doctors that worked with her?
No, I didn't actually see any interviews. Tell me.
There's okay, I'm probably gonna get this name wrong, but Ravi.
Sorry. It's a day of wrong names. It's it is what it is at this point.
So he said that like she was babysitting for another coworker, another nurse that like had to go do something for a minute, and she went into the room and was watching this baby, and he heard the alarms going off in the other room and walked in, and the oxygen tube was out, and she was just standing there watching the baby like
just suffocate.
Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, brought it up with the board. Like, this was another instance where it's like, a nurse wouldn't do that. They would like immediately act to fix it. They wouldn't just stand there watching. Like, it's very obvious she's messed up and doing something wrong.
Yeah, seriously. It's just unreal how you go into that line of work. I feel like if you go into that line of work, it's because you want to take care of people and help people, especially when they're on the brink. And then to go into the neonatal unit, it's because you want to care for children and make sure they're okay, especially babies. So I'm like, what is the disconnect here? What set her off? And I feel like I now say this to you
Like
about every
Munchausen
case
by
we talk
proxy.
about. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
what possibly set this woman off to do this? Like, how can you harm a poor innocent baby? They have no way of, defending themselves or anything. It's so sad.
I know there were some psychiatrists that were like just reviewing the case and kind of
Mhm.
giving their comments. And they can't diagnose her, obviously, but
Yeah.
they were thinking she had a personality disorder or Munchausen by proxy, which is basically where you like the attention of the chaos
Yeah.
that like medical emergencies cause. So,
I mean, you know where my brain instantly went when you said that.
what?
Gypsy Rose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
So it's exactly
Real Housewives
that.
of Orange County when they all accused
What's her name? Yolanda, yeah.
of having
And she was
Munchausen's.
she still is on that train of being sick and popping like 9,000 vitamins, but
Yeah, but definitely not
I don't
Munchausen's.
not Munchausen's. No.
She
She's just a
actually
health
has
freak.
Lyme. Yeah.
Yeah, Lyme's disease is real, man.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, no, that makes me automatically, my first thought was Gypsy Rose and how her mother was making her sick and coming up with diagnoses and
And
all
she
these
got
symptoms.
attention from like
Yeah.
neighbors, the news.
I
Like,
mean, they built her a house.
fundraising.
Habitat
Yeah,
for Humanity built her a house.
I mean, that was
Like-
beyond because it's like she was getting money for her child being sick, basically. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something we can cover another time too, because
yeah.
I think there's so many interviews with Gypsy too now while she's in jail.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah, we
it's-
need to cover that.
Yeah, we got to cover that.
We need to cover that.
But yeah, but anyway, I mean, Lucy's finally arrested. Longest murder trial in UK history. All these counts she's now been accused of, that she's been found guilty of. And that also includes not just murder, but attempted murder.
Oh, another thing that was really weird is they found like cards at her desk that she had made herself from her cat. That was like best mom ever. And then there were like fake cards from families written to her that she had done herself that were like, thank you so much. So
for
she's
killing
like
my
trying...
child. Like,
yeah, it's so ill. So ill.
That's disgusting. Oh my God.
Not right.
Not okay in the slightest. And I mean,
ugh. Didn't she say something when she was arrested, like, or in trial, like, I'm a monster or something?
Yeah, she was like, I'm evil.
Yeah.
She like admittedly called herself evil, which honestly,
she is.
Yeah, you are.
The devil. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for people like this, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all can agree on that too, because this is so messed up. And I mean, I know that the news held on to releasing this information until like, I think a couple weeks after the verdict came out. But when it did come out, I mean, this news came out, what, last week? I think the 20th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so. It is just absolutely, it's gut-wrenching how this can happen. And
like, I remember hearing about this, but I didn't know all the details. Like, I didn't know there was so many people like flagging her over the years and nothing happened. Like, the hospital was trying to cover up how disorganized and chaotic their hospital was. So they didn't want to have anything bad happening, basically. So
yeah, totally.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah. And it really comes down to like, I think this kind of goes with any corporation or business or anything that has so many people working on it. How many times does someone need to be flagged in order for you to finally take something seriously?
For real.
Like
how that goes. Yep.
Seriously. But yeah, I mean, so the reason why too all this information didn't come out until the 20th when the first set of verdicts was read out on August 8th and then the second on the 11th. But they couldn't release any of this information until all the jurors were discharged. So, I mean, also, I know the law is a bit different in the UK.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a case I'm sure if it had been in the US would have been all over our TVs and
right.
Like,
oh my god,
we would have been following this whole time. I mean, I I know I didn't really know about this until I went online and it was like the first main headline. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
But
babies. Ugh. I mean, murder is never okay, but like it's just so
yeah,
dark to
exactly.
something so innocent and small.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's
do we
that's
know how
Lucy
long she's in?
Letby.
I mean, for life, right?
Yeah, I
Prison.
believe it's life without parole or whatever their
Good.
equivalent is. And then speaking about possible life sentences and all those things, I know you have some updates on Gilgo, which we talked about last
Yeah.
time.
So there's not much. Basically, I did want to talk about how the former New York police chief was actually the one that was investigating Gilgo Beach originally, was just arrested again
Yes.
for what was it? For soliciting sex at Long Island Park. He was like, I think he was flashing himself.
Oh,
So he
gross.
was charged with public lewdness, indecent exposure, and criminal solicitation. And this
Ew.
guy has gotten DUIs. He's like, when he was a police officer, he was caught like having sex with sex workers in his police car. Like, there's so much bad
That's
shit.
a weird
And
connection,
that's
though.
that's a okay. So that connects back to why this took so long, the case,
Yeah.
because that chief of department and a bunch of the internal police,
Yeah.
I don't know, the people that run the investigations were butting heads and like hiding details from the FBI on this case. Like there was so much going on and it has to do with that guy. So that delayed a lot of the investigation. So that's
Oh,
crazy,
that
first of
is
all.
crazy.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And then two sex workers from Long Island came out and said that they
Mhm.
had met up with Rex and that he was very aggressive and violent with them.
Yeah,
So
I
they've,
saw that.
yeah,
That's crazy.
that's
I
a
mean,
big thing.
also, like, how did they allegedly survive? Like, well, I mean, not allegedly survive, but they survived this alleged
Maybe they just
serial
didn't
killer.
go somewhere to a second location or whatever.
True.
Don't
I
go to the
mean,
second location.
it's so crazy that people are actually able to like come out and talk about this.
Hmm.
Um, Especially knowing he's like, I don't know, it blows my mind that, well, first of all, these women were able to like identify him and be like, yep, I was hired
By him.
by this guy. Could
Yeah,
have
that's
been me.
huge.
Huge. And now this other part of the onion that's peeling is about the detective you were talking about. I mean, how
Hmm.
much detail do you think could have been raised earlier?
Well, I guess the witness statement with the car and
Mhm.
the how the guy looked, it was like a large man. Da, da, da. He had
Yeah.
a full description that was not shared or expanded upon, and they could have found him like in a week.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Long
important
Island
information to
giant dude,
have.
like yeah, yeah, his
Yeah.
car, everything. They had all of it, and they totally could have just stopped a lot of murders,
Yeah.
probably.
Seriously. And
Ugh.
I know last time we were talking about them possibly opening up cases in the other locations where they had houses and land.
Hmm.
And I believe they have. So this is definitely something I feel like we're just going to keep following.
Yeah, I guess they just took his DNA.
Hmm.
And they're actually exploring a few murders in Las Vegas that really matched his like all of his
MO.
MOs. Yeah. So they're diving into that. We'll see what
We'll
happens. I
see.
guess
I
he
know.
has stopped being silent and emo in jail. Not that we want to give him attention, but he's like participating in religious services and like
Oh, what? He's finally found
rehab.
God and all this. Oh, how
And
lovely.
like
Why does it
he's
seem to
checking out
be?
books, living his
Why does it
life.
seem to be that people, when they are stuck in shit for doing something wrong, now all of a sudden come to light and
They're all of a sudden
have
just
they
holier
all
than
go to
thou.
rehab and then they're all okay?
Hmm.
Which, by the way, perfect segue into the
Rehab.
real big topic of the hour for us
I
people
have
who
so
are,
much.
I know, all right, full disclosure, Kaisa and I are huge Bravo fans. We are legit Bravo holics.
Yes.
Andy Cohen, we are your people. Thank you.
I used to be embarrassed, but now
I am no longer
yelling
ashamed.
it to the world. Yeah.
Yes, I scream it from rooftops all over the city of Boston because I love it.
It's just so good. Such a good escape.
Yes, seriously. As Bravoholics, though, we obviously got caught up in the Scandival. Biggest thing to happen on Bravo television. And obviously took over, I feel like, everything when it came out. And for those of you who don't know, who come really more for the crime and not for the BS portion, Vanderpump Rules is a TV show that started thanks to Lisa Vanderpump, who was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She owns a string of restaurants.
She's a queen.
She is the absolute be-all, end-all. And we love her, obviously. But the show started at one of her restaurants called SO, following all these people who worked at the restaurant, two of which were Tom Sandoval and his girlfriend Ariana, who were together for 9 years. And then this past March, this year, so crazy to think it was only March, we found out that he was cheating on Ariana with their friend Raquel Leviss, who has now decided she wants to be Rachel again, but we'll get into that.
We'll respect it. I guess.
Respect it. But yeah, so it was a 7-month long affair. It all came out before the reunion. They picked cameras back up to continue filming. Ariana took it in stride. She is not only living, but thriving. Coming out with a new cocktail book, which you best believe we have pre-ordered.
Yes. Absolutely.
I may have ordered 2. So.
Oh my God. I haven't ordered mine yet.
That's why I ordered 2.
You angel.
Well, I figured.
Oh my gosh.
I just, this is what we do.
She looks so hot on the cover.
She does. She looks so good. And Kaisa and I got super wrapped up in Scandival. We have our Send It to Daryl sweatshirts from Lala.
Okay, I've been obsessed with Vanderpump since I think 2014. My friend Vanessa had it on when I was staying with her.
It's so good.
I got hooked and just watched every episode, and then I've been just obsessed. So this is probably the biggest thing that's ever happened on Vanderpump.
Yeah.
Ever. There have been scandals.
And to us personally, probably. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we were obsessed.
We were
obsessed.
Rocked. Yeah. But anyway, so Rachel went into a facility and has come out, and all of this stuff has been coming out too. Yeah, she did some work on herself, and all this stuff's been coming out about how Bravo celebrities have been treated really unfairly. They're not getting paid enough for their shows. And the leader of this revolution for Bravo, if we can call it that, is Bethenny Frankel, who skinny girl, she's taken over the world. I used to be a huge fan of hers.
Me too.
Yeah,
I still am sort of.
Yeah, there's part of me that still loves her, but she, for some reason,
exploiting people.
Yes, Rachel has decided that she was going to be interviewed by Bethenny. This was going to be her big coming out back to us, and we have a lot to say about this 3-part interview.
Do we want to start with Bethenny or Rachel? Because I have a lot to say about both of them.
I don't care, because honestly,
or just dive into all of it.
Start with whoever you want, because honestly, both of them pissed me
too.
Right off.
I know. I'm heated about it, actually.
So I was listening to this on a train for work, and I was trying to do my job while listening to it. I had to stop because I was getting so heated. My emails were starting to get a little too firm as I was reading them. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop working and listen to this. So yeah, I'm happy to start wherever you want, because I know we have a lot to say.
Okay, I'm just gonna start with a very shallow comment about Rachel. The way
Oh, I
she
love it.
talks gives me so much anxiety. It's the shaky voice and how slow, I may be hypocritical here, but like how slow it takes for her to get one sentence out, one little
Yeah,
thought
I mean,
out.
it would
It's
be
like,
one. Yeah,
oh,
it would be one
recommend
thing if
listening
she
to it
never
on,
sounded like that, but
yeah.
she sounds like that all the time. Like she's on the brink of crying.
It's because she isn't actually thinking her own thoughts. She's just
Yeah,
reciting things that other people told her to say or whatever. Sorry, that's my
no,
opinion.
agreed, agreed,
Oh.
100%. What royally pissed me off from the beginning was the fact that Bethenny Frankel had the audacity to say she's never watched the show, and
Mm-hmm.
yet she's gonna cover this
She watched
topic.
part of the reunion and that's it. She has no idea what's happening.
This is Howie Mandel all over again. We're not
Truly.
doing this.
And like
Like,
good, okay, partially good for her for like jumping on. She knows how to make money. She's
yeah,
jumping on something that
she's
is
jumping on the train.
highly popular and she
Mhm.
knows she'll make money off of it. But like it's so ignorant. And the comments she made without having watched the show was just like, shut the fuck up.
Agreed. Honestly, and while I'm listening to it, I'm like, I can't tell what's actually like a genuine thought or
Mm-hmm.
genuine point versus what's a lie. Because, I kind of came onto it a little later than I should have for listening to it. But I already knew like some points she was making. People have come out and been like, nope, that's not true. Like,
We're not
none of this happened.
friends.
Oh,
That part is
that
so
gets me
upsetting
so upset.
because everyone knows there are so many posts, there's so many videos out there of them hanging out like outside of filming,
Yeah. So,
and it's ridiculous.
yeah, just to keep you all up to speed, Rachel said that her and Ariana were not friends. They were acquaintances who became friends for the show. They never hung out outside the show, which is a bold-faced lie. We've
She
seen the
stayed at their
Instagram.
house.
She
Yeah.
stayed at their house. She banged Ariana's boyfriend at their house.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know these things.
They went to
What's come out.
Coachella together. They like everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, thinking back to that scene too from this past season when they're at the campsite for Rachel's birthday
Mm-hmm.
and she's crying and she's like, "You guys are so kind to me. You're
These
my
are
closest
best
friends."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not a kind of person who's going to say that to someone I just consider an acquaintance or friends because of like I work with them.
Also on, I think it was Shenanigans, Sheena's
Yes.
podcast, she was like, yeah, Ariana's been so supportive of me.
Yeah.
It really shows who my real friends are. Like she has said this.
Oh
so
my God. Yeah. And then what was
she's just
her
trying to
point?
discredit her.
Yeah. And then what was her point of being like, and I mean, Sheena told me that the podcast episode I was on was like her best episode.
Like
Like,
what she owes you. She's upset that other people are making money off of her when, okay, full disclosure, should have just done this podcast on your own since
yeah,
you're starting your own podcast. If you wanted to make money, put
just
out your own episode.
your first episode should just be about this. Why are you having to go on Bethenny?
So much. And like, I don't know. There's just so much that pissed me off. I do agree. Maybe like Bravo should have paid for her therapy. I think that
Yeah.
that part is a thing they should fight for with Bravo is have mental health support. Like, and apparently
Absolutely.
they do provide that usually, but not like payment for treatment and stuff like that.
Which they should, because think of how many people have had to like get off this show or like get off any of the shows. I mean, let's think back. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 1, Kim Richards was an alcoholic. She had to go get help. Like,
yeah, there
that's
are a
just
lot
one
of
example. There's a lot of people who've had issues
and
it's come
what's
out.
her name? Whose husband like committed
Taylor?
suicide. Yeah.
Yeah, she needed
So
support
sad.
after that.
And I feel like they do provide some on the show, but I think, yeah, and especially with Vanderpump, they're all newbies to being famous. So it's probably really crazy for them to have all that fame immediately. Like that would mess you up a little bit mentally.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides the point, she knows what she's getting into when she signs up for reality TV. And I don't think anything went wrong. She caused the damage. So
yeah, I mean, and granted,
she can't be blaming Bravo.
No, exactly. I mean, granted, it did take her and Tom to do this.
Hmm.
And
I think Tom should be blamed way more than her.
yes. Okay. That's what I was going to say is I feel like Tom isn't necessarily getting that blame. I feel like, unfortunately, that is a part of our society, which sucks. Everyone really needs to go see the Barbie movie so we can make a difference. Like he is kind of I feel like he's getting away with it a lot more than he should.
And fans and everything are still fawning over him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little upsetting.
And I think, yeah, it's just not okay. He definitely needs to be held accountable more.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like maybe Rachel got a little too much necessary.
Yeah, I don't think she should be
it just
getting
wasn't
death
balanced.
threats,
yeah, no, I mean, no one should get
crazy.
Death threats unless, you know, they are murderers.
Okay, what upsets me is that she, you know, tooted this horn about how she's doing what was it, like 7 months of treatment, like insane amount of inpatient treatment, and she's like, I've changed. Da, da, da. This was her opportunity to really show that, and she was still defensive. She was still blaming others. She was still like, woe is me, I'm the victim, and like did not have like the things she said where she was taking ownership. It was just like a scripted line that she said 100 times. And it pissed me off. I'm like, oh, if you would have changed, we could have all accepted it. Like we could have all been okay with what happened. And yeah, it sucks. But like, if you are getting the help, show us. But
yeah, exactly. Didn't. I mean, that was really my big takeaway from it, was that in all 3 parts, it was just so hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
Like she contradicted herself every step of the way, like saying that she was remorseful for her actions, but then said that what Ariana was saying to her at the reunion was uncalled for. But like, put yourself in Ariana's shoes. You're with someone for 9, almost 10 years. You have a house together. You've released books. You've helped him like reach all this success in his dreams, opening 2 bars and all this. And then he goes and like has an affair.
Yeah. Like, and she's not upset with him even when he literally videotaped her basically in a porn act. And like
exactly.
And like that was on his phone, and that's awful. And she didn't even really care. She just kept blaming Ariana and saying that she shared the video and all this stuff, which apparently is a lie. Who knows?
The other part that really got to me was how she said Sheena exaggerated their friendship. And like Sheena, I mean, you can see on the show how Sheena really took care of her.
She lived with Sheena.
Sheena loved her. I don't think it's an exaggeration when you say, you know,
she stood up
someone
for her.
who, when you consider someone your best friend, it's like having a sister. Like I feel that way with a bunch of I consider you like a sister. Like so many of my friends, when you're that close with someone, that's the bond it feels like. And I think to me, it felt like it was kind of a cop out for Rachel to say that Sheena, you know, was trying to construct this narrative. Like that to me is like equivalent to saying like your actions weren't what you did on the show, but it's because of editing. It's like blaming editing, you know? That's how I at least feel about when people are like, oh, it's just this narrative they're trying to run with. Well, the narrative wouldn't be there unless there's something backing it up.
You were the one who did the cheating. Like you were, like Tom was, but you know, you did this, girl.
Yeah, exactly. And
you aren't just some innocent victim that they're like.
No, I mean, it's not. You're not like this little fawn in the woods. You're not a little Bambi-eyed bitch. Like,
I think she's just not right for reality TV. Like, she kept saying, like, how come everyone else gets away with it? Tom is getting away with it, but he's literally just moving on. He's not like making a spectacle of going to treatment and then having like keeping the conversation going. He's like, not. I mean, I hate him, but like,
same.
He's just doing like everyone else who had a scandal, Jax, like they just moved on. Like, I think they're a good fit for reality TV because of that, to be honest.
Exactly.
And like, she's not taking it well.
Yeah. I mean, she's not coming back for next season. Honestly, I agree. Like Lala came out on her podcast and said, you know, I kind of wish Rachel was coming back because, you know, it would actually give her a chance to like tell her side to the group.
Yeah, and they all like have said that they reacted strongly at the reunion and feel
Yeah.
bad about it because it was like 2 weeks after what happened. So of course you're going to be heated.
Exactly. It's like all in real time. It's hard to not to. And I mean, and now all this stuff about Sheena punching, like the whole Sheena punching her in the face thing came up again, which I don't believe Sheena could do it. I mean, girl can't make a fist, like all that.
I love
And
that video where
I know
she's
that's
showing
such
her
a good one with her
claws.
nails. Yeah. I mean, I think just at the end of the day, there was a much better way that she could have gone about it. I think Bethenny needs to own up to the fact that she did exploit
Okay,
Raquel.
Bethany's not paying her.
Yeah.
She came out saying she is, but there's
She's
no
not.
clear. Yeah, yeah. Also, it's sad. I feel like it's kind of sad also. Like Rachel is, I think her dad is like a super manager, like
Mm-hmm.
her uncle, dad, whatever,
Dadager kind of
dadager.
deal.
Um, and I can see how that has like shaped her and she's not able to really think for herself. And she's like
Mm-hmm.
dated or banged people that are very controlling. And so like
Yeah.
it kind of makes me feel bad for her, to be honest. I feel
Yeah.
like
I mean, I hope she
there's not
continues
much
like,
there.
yeah, I feel like I hope she continues to like get help and really work through this.
I don't think
Yeah,
she
you
took
can tell
anything
when,
from the therapy she went
no,
through.
but I mean,
Sadly.
I guess she needs a miracle to take it in, but like you can tell even when she's talking to Bethenny, everything is thought out. It's very methodical how she's
And when it
talking.
doesn't go the way she thought it would go, she stumbles and
Yeah.
she can't handle it.
It
She's
wasn't,
like,
it was
okay.
not organic in the slightest.
Mm-mm.
And I think it was a real missed opportunity for her to really, be able to
Yeah, we were
connect with
all
everyone.
waiting. We were all waiting for the big change and like for her to
It
own
was a
it and just
letdown.
like be a different person. Yeah, it
It
was
was a
sad.
it was a letdown all around, and that was
Um,
3 hours of our lives that we could have done.
I LOL'd when when she said when Tom came out with his single, I like died because what
Oh my
single?
God, yeah. Like what single?
I was dying. Oh, okay, Bethany, I have some points I want to bring
Oh,
up.
please do. I
So
got the
I
popcorn
thought it
ready.
was
Go for it.
hilarious when she was she's kind of leading the
Yeah.
conversation, obviously. She's trying to steer it the way she wants it to go to like fit her narrative of Bravo as abusive, basically.
Yes.
Which I don't disagree that I'm sure there's some awful things happening,
Yeah.
but it can be improved. But anyway, like when she said, I think she said something about how Bethany demanded to know the ratings. And then she's like, I
Oh
did
yeah.
that. I stood up for them.
The
I asked
Bethany
them to
clause.
yeah. And
Oh
then Rachel was like, I mean, you don't even need to know the ratings. She was like, everyone knows the ratings. It's public record. Like she said something like that just totally discredited Bethany's
yeah.
point, and it was so funny. I was laughing.
Yeah. No, Bethany was definitely trying to be like, I'm the reason why. I'm the
I'm
trailblazer. I'm
helping.
why
Yeah.
you're here. Yeah. Oh my God.
Also, the fact that she was like, I went to you because we don't really do this. We don't travel to go talk to our guests, but I went to you. And then she was like, because I thought you might back out.
I also feel like
I'm a
Bethany just
martyr.
wanted a moment to be like, you're welcome.
That's what it was. But then it
Yeah.
was funny. It was like, because I thought you were going to run away or hide or change your mind. So I'm trapping you.
Honestly, maybe she should have.
I know. It wasn't a good look. It just really was not. It was not. And then Bethany's monologue about all the mean things that they said during the reunion. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that made me laugh. It was so dramatic. She was crying.
So dramatic. Even the preview for all of this was so dramatic. I was expecting like tears. I was expecting like some really like big reveals and all this. And
Yeah.
I mean, you and I were both like,
it's just the same.
what the fuck is
shit.
this?
Yeah.
Same shit, different day. We already knew all this. Like nothing new here.
It was frustrating.
So frustrating.
Yeah, Bethenny just needs to stop. She's making herself look bad. Like, I'm all for the fight she wants to fight, but she's not doing it for the right reasons. She's doing it to gain things for herself. So that's my opinion.
Well, I am going to CC that opinion, or, I agree with you 110% on all of that. Oh, yeah. Honestly, that racked my brain so much.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, but it's over now. Now we're going to be in the aftermath, and I can't wait to see what comes out.
Me too. I can't wait to watch the new season of Vanderpump.
Me too. Ugh,
Not wait.
cannot wait. I guess before we sign off, how are you liking Roni this season?
Loving it. I
Loving
didn't think I
it.
would. I didn't think I would, but I'm obsessed.
We got so many comments on our Instagram post about why we're enjoying Real Housewives of New York this year.
I know. And it's all different perspectives. Some people are not having it. Some people, of course, we miss the old cast, but
Yeah, of course. But
it
it's
needed to change.
yeah, it honestly, I'm really excited about it. I was super apprehensive about watching it. You honestly had to force me to watch it. I sat down on a Saturday and binged every episode that was on. I am fully obsessed. I finally saw the mid-season trailer this morning. I'm ready for that extra drama. How dare Erin not have food for people? That was my big, I was like,
I am loving the drama topics. It's really
me
funny.
too.
It's
I love how
so shallow. I love it.
right out the gate, we got a cheese gate.
I know.
Like, thank you. You guys know the assignment,
bro. Yeah.
You know the assignment. But really, the big takeaway for me is that they all genuinely seem to enjoy each other's company. I mean, besides Jessel and Erin. But, oh, wait, that's what I meant to tell you is I was reading today, Jessel moved from Dallas to New York to be on the show.
I read that. Yeah, there's a lot about Jessel we can talk about.
I think we're gonna actually need to dedicate an episode to
let's do it.
Diving in all. Okay, that sounds good to me. Well, that was fun. That was another good one. We did it.
Do you have any recommendations of shows or books or anything?
Oh, I feel so terrible. I feel like I had so many last time.
Well, you've been traveling and stuff, so.
Yeah, I have. If you haven't watched Real Housewives of New York, definitely that's on
just
there.
Give it a chance. It's got the new Bravo, innocent Bravo character vibe.
Yeah. And also, please follow us on Instagram at Crime Cocktails and
rate
BS.
us.
And rate us. Listen, rate, leave us a comment. Wait, do you have anything to recommend? I feel like such a jerk. I took your question.
I'm always watching 90 Day Fiance or the spin-offs.
Oh my
God. The new 90 Day Fiance.
The Last Resort.
The Other Way, I think.
Oh, The Other
Way.
Really
good. Highly recommend. And The Last Resort is just a shit show. Thrush. That's all I'm going to say.
It is. I'm only 20 minutes into the first episode and I'm dying.
It's just a lot. It's all the crazy characters. I'm obsessed.
But I love Molly.
Yeah, me too.
I adore Molly. But anyway.
Too. She's sweet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us again on this wonderful episode. We couldn't do it without you guys. And Kaisa, you're my other half. Thank you for everything.
Love you.
Love you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Trip.